Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had an amazing week. For those of you who tune in every single week on Mental Health Moment with Dr. Hammond, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live, welcome back. And for those of you who are absolutely new to Mental Health Moment, welcome. And for those of you who are watching the replay on Dr. Nekeshia Hammond YouTube, thank you so much for watching this replay. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. And thanks for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from today. I literally just got back to the Tampa Bay area of Florida. I was in Tallahassee for the last 2 days, Tallahassee, Florida, which is our capital here in Florida, and doing some advocacy work with the Florida Psychological Association. And essentially what we were doing up there is advocating for the mental health needs of people in Florida, frankly, and trying to work towards talking with legislators about access and how do we help and all the things that we can do collaboratively as a community, right? Because it absolutely takes a community when it comes to mental health. But thanks again for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Virginia's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Detroit, Michigan, New York, Mississippi, Port St. Lucie, Florida, New Jersey's here, Houston. I got a lot of people from Detroit today. Orlando, I think I saw like 4 or 5 people from Detroit here today. Arizona, Montgomery, Alabama, all the Detroit people, welcome. Omaha, Nebraska, thanks so much again for joining here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So I shared with you again, I literally am just getting back from Tallahassee. And you know, when I thought about today, how much we were advocating. So there's a group of psychologists that I was with, and we were all advocating for mental health, for some changes that need to be made in the state of Florida, and ways in which we can provide more access and more care and that sort of thing. I was thinking about you all too, and how much it's so important for each and every one of us really to think about, are we advocating for ourselves, right? So when you think about your mental health journey, and for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, it's all about how do you become the best version of who you are so you can show up for yourself and show up for those around you. And when you think about ways you can advocate for yourself, and thanks to those who are still starting to join here, San Francisco's in the house, welcome. Jacksonville, Florida, Boston, Connecticut, Virgin Islands, Bermuda, welcome. But when you think about ways that you can advocate for yourself, sometimes it means setting boundaries, which we've talked about on Mental Health Moment. And the other day, actually, I was on a podcast interview. It's not out as yet. Once the interview is out, I'll be sure to let you all know about it. But one of the questions that was very interesting, we started talking about what are your non-negotiables, right? Meaning for you, what are the things for you? If you think about advocating for yourself, what is something for you where you can say, and you can let me know in the chat, but you can say like, man, I really set this particular boundary in my life and it's really changed my life for the better because it's a non-negotiable, right? Like, what is it for you? And let me know in the chat. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So for me, one of my answers that's non-negotiable now at this stage of my life, I wish it was earlier in my life, but that's okay. But at this stage of my life is self-care. Like, that is absolutely a non-negotiable for me. That is absolutely a way in which I have to set boundaries in different areas of my life to make sure that I have the self-care I need. That is literally the only way that I could do the gazillion projects and be in all the roles that I am in my life is through self-care. So again, so what is it for you? So let me know in the chat. But what is it for you that you would say, man, I really want to work on advocating for myself. So I've put this particular thing into place. And thanks for those who are still joining here. South Carolina or Southern California. I just totally made up a new thing that you didn't type, but Southern California is here. Mississippi, Alabama, Connecticut, Texas, New York, New York City, New York. Thank you so much. Love you all too. Las Vegas. Someone said dealing with negative people. Someone said people's drama. And someone said my non-negotiable boundary in life is truth. Good. Saying no. Beautiful. Non-negotiable in my life right now is choosing peace and being resilient. Fantastic. Time management. These are all amazing things, you all. There's no right or wrong answer. It is, what is it for you that you know that you need? Again, we always say a mental health moment. Are you asking yourself enough, what do I need? And what I mean by that is emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, what do you need at this point in your life? So one of the things I love that you all said, that someone said, work-life balance is non-negotiable. I will not work around the clock. Don't tolerate disrespect from anyone. Beautiful. And here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing, because boundaries look different, right? So for some of you, I know a lot of people actually, they, at a certain time of the evening, like their phone is shut off, right? Or maybe it's on the weekends, or maybe it's a certain time of day, or whatever it is. Maybe the notifications are off. Whatever it is for you that you set that can bring you more peace, like someone said, can bring you more resiliency, can help you to manage the stress that's happening in your life. That is what is right for you, right? So another one of my boundaries, if you will, that I say is all my notifications are off on my phone. So years and years ago, I had on so many notifications, you all. I mean, email, social media, whatever, messages from different groups that I'm a part of. Like, I had so many notifications coming in. I felt like that's all I was doing all day long on my phone, was checking messages. And it was exhausting, right? So years and years ago, I decided I'm turning off all the notifications. So when I am ready to check email, when I am ready to check a message, when I am ready to check whatever it is that I need to check, social media through my phone, I decide it's on my timeline, right? Not when it's constantly going off, because it was very distracting actually, right? So again, what maybe something you already put in place or need to put in place when you think about setting those type of boundaries, when you think about for you, what is non-negotiable, something that's going to help you. Someone said self-awareness, beautiful. Someone said prioritizing how I use my time, very, very, very important. Actually, yes, probably soon here, we'll be doing a whole mental health moment about that, about time management, because that is really, honestly, it's a gift that you can give yourself when it comes to your mental health. Time management is crucial, you all, right? We only have so many hours in a day, but how you spend that time, how you own your time. Now, some parts of your time you may not have control over, in whatever capacity you are, whether you're a parent, grandparent, whether you're working, not working, there's just certain parts that we have to devote, right, to other people or certain projects or work or whatever it is. But there is some certain parts of your time that you do have control over, right? So what are you doing during that time period? So I love that. Prioritizing how you use your time. Someone said spiritual self-care, peace of mind. Beautiful. I love to hear that. That honestly is, man, when you all make peace of mind one of your top priorities, the decisions you make, when you put it through the lens of, man, I am trying to have my own peace of mind. When you think like that, a lot of decisions that you make become a lot easier, because I know sometimes that clarity is a real thing, right? We're like, man, should we do this? Should we do that? We all have decisions to make, no matter what part of life you're in and where you're at with your wellness journey. We all have decisions to make, but how it can become easier to make those decisions are when you have a lens of, okay, I'm working right now, like this person said in the chat, on my peace of mind. That's my non-negotiable. Well, then you have to decide that decision you have, is it going to give you peace of mind? Yes or no, right? Or maybe it's a maybe, or maybe it'll give you peace of mind temporarily, or whatever it is that you need. But those are the type of things when you start to make decisions and you have that at your forefront and you know what that is for you, that makes it that much easier. Someone said bendering and business opportunities, beautiful. And you know what, you all may be in a state where you're either speeding up right now. I mean, we're getting towards the end of the year. You may be speeding up and like, man, it's the end of the year. There's so much I got to do and let's go. Or you may be in a state of, you know what, it's the end of the year. I need to slow down. Here come the holidays, or here come whatever other responsibilities that you have these last couple of months. You have to ask yourself that question. There's not a right or wrong. It's only what is best for you. What doesn't help though, and what I see many times is that we tend to just rush through things, just go without really checking in with ourselves to say, wait a minute, what is my non-negotiable right now? Right? Where am I at? Where am I setting my boundaries? Oh, okay. I know that in this season that I'm in, I need to reset and recharge. Or like someone was like, hey, in this season, I'm looking for the business opportunities. Like I'm on the go. Like it's what is right for you, right? Asking yourself that question. Someone said, working on my PTO. Beautiful. Wonderful. Someone said consciousness, self-care, and self-love. I love it. Someone said, I feel like I need to work on this myself. Fantastic. You know, and for those of you who are saying like, I'm working on it, it's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing, because here's the thing with everything about mental health moment, frankly, is this is a lifelong commitment, you all. And I hope it doesn't sound harsh. I hope it doesn't sound negative to be like, what? Like I'm trying to, do all these things. Like, yes, we all have milestones along the way, but the beauty is this is a lifelong commitment that you can make. Once you make yourself your number one priority, once all the things that you all are putting in the chat, like you hold that near and dear to your heart, right? And you kind of funnel your decisions through, man, I'm working on my vendoring, my business opportunities, or my spiritual self-care, my peace of mind, whatever that is for you, right? That's all a part of the journey. And it's a beautiful thing. And taking that and really understanding like this is lifelong, right? This isn't just for today. This isn't just for a week or a month. Like I'm going to really work on this throughout my life and continue to be better and continue to grow. Someone said, I'm following my gut. I'm trusting my spirit. It doesn't steer me wrong. Absolutely. It really doesn't. A lot of times though, you all, I know we're all busy. I get it. I know we're all busy, but when you really take a little bit of time, at least just to slow down to whatever it is for you, get into some type of spiritual practice, whether it's prayer, whether it's meditation, whether it's taking calming deep breaths and just taking a minute, whatever it is for you to start to reset, start to recharge, listen to your inner voice, higher power, whatever it is for you to get into that calmer state. It's not only can it provide you with peace of mind, but it's very clarifying and a lot of things that you're going through in your life. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Someone said there's no way we are the best version of yourself when we're always rushing and trying to beat the clock. Time management. Absolutely. And I don't want to share too many things. I just had this podcast interview recently, and so there's some things coming to mind, but I'll wait till it comes out. But yes, I did talk about time management a little bit on there. So I will definitely share the interview once it comes out, instead of sharing what I shared on there before they share it. But yes, time management was definitely a topic so important. Completely agree with you. We really, really have to work on our time management, every single one of us, right? Again, to really think about putting your mental health as a forefront, putting your own wellness at the forefront of this. Oklahoma City's in the house. Welcome. Valdosta, Georgia, Tennessee. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining. For those of you who are just now tuning in, it's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We're talking today in the chat about what is it for you? What is your non-negotiable? What is it that you're advocating for yourself? What is the boundary maybe that you're putting into place for you, right? Because what's really, really important on this journey of wellness, there's so many things that happen, right? In life, whether it's the highs, there's great, amazing things that happen to us, or the lows, the disappointments, the grief, the loss, the transitions. Like there's always going to be something happening, right? On our little roller coaster called life. But when you take the time to think about, even during the roller coaster, here are the things that I don't want to change. Here are the boundaries that I put into place. Here are the things that I'm working on for me, right? For the peace of mind, for the spiritual growth, physical growth, emotional growth, or whatever that is, that can really, really help you on this journey. Someone said, definitely taking more time for myself, cut out being there so much for others. And, I will say it is... That is a journey and a process, you all. We are sometimes negatively influenced, call it what you will. It might be friends, it might be family members, it might be the media or wherever else that we're wrongly influenced, I would say, to put every single thing above our mental health, which doesn't help us. But when we work on putting ourselves first, which is not selfish, because then we become the best version of who we are, to serve those around us, whatever that is. If it's the community, if your friends, family, if you're a parent, grandparent, whomever it is that is around you that you care about, you can show up as a better version of who you are when you work on yourself first. So I love that. Definitely taking care of myself, making more time for myself. Someone said busy doesn't mean productive. Put yourself on the top of the priority list. Yes, yes, and yes. I think I've preached that for years now. Mental health moment. If you don't learn anything else from any mental health moments, just know, yes, when you put yourself at the top of your priority list, when you think about the decisions in your life, think about what is it that is best for you. When you really get to that point, and it's okay if you're not there yet, that's totally okay. It's a journey, a process. Years ago, I definitely wasn't at the top of my priority list. A lot of other projects and things were. But now when I have to make certain decisions, I go, wait a minute, let me think about my physical health. Let me think about my mental health. Let me think about my spiritual health. Let me think about my financial health. Let me think about my emotional health. Like, all those things have to go on first. Then I make the best decision. And then that decision, hopefully, is going to positively affect the rest of my life as well, right? Doesn't mean you have a perfect life doing this. No, I wish. No, we're not aiming for a perfect life, but we're aiming for a better life. We're aiming for a more fulfilling life. I strongly want you all to have happy, fulfilling lives. I want you to be productive. I want you to have joy. I want you to understand you deserve all of these things, right? You absolutely deserve all of these things. And so do the people around you, right? But it's a journey in of itself. And we're all at different places, and that's okay. Someone said, peace of mind is hard to find because we're living in a world of hustle and grind. We are. We absolutely are. So so here's what's interesting. I'm so glad. Oh, you guys are just, I love these comments, you all. But here's what's interesting about that. We absolutely do live in that world of the hustle, the grind, and all the sort of things. There's so much information, you all, out there on social media and traditional media from whomever. Like, we are inundated with information. This is why I asked you at the beginning of today's mental health moment, though. What is your non-negotiable? Like, what is it for you? Where do you set your boundaries? Because you're going to be inundated with all this information. If you know, let me give you another example. What I didn't used to do was get enough sleep. I really did. Now I will confess that. Like, years ago, I used to unfortunately be in that mentality, like hustle hard and all the team no sleep and all this ridiculous stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. I was barely getting any sleep, like maybe 2-3 hours, maybe 4. Because I was doing all these things. I was not concentrating at that time on my physical health. So it was just all about getting things done, right? Which takes a toll on you, by the way, when you get barely any sleep all the time. But then I made that a non-negotiable for me at this stage, because right now it's all about how can I help myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, like all these different parts, right? So what I know most nights is I have to get a good amount of sleep. So I strive for 7 hours. For me, that's a good amount. Everybody's different, right? But I'm not, and yes, here and there, do I get less or more? Sure. But the goal is try my best to actually get sleep, right? And everything else, because of time management, there's a lot of things that are important, but there's a lot of things that are not important and are not worth me not getting enough sleep, because now that's on my list of the non-negotiable, if that makes sense. So it's really hard. It's really important for you to think about this, hustle, grind, don't have any self-care, don't take care of yourself. Like, that's out there. That's a philosophy. That's out there on social media. But you have to know, and you might have heard all these sort of things, like all these sort of negative things about sleep, for example, or any other thing. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Someone said peace of mind is a priority. Absolutely. Absolutely. So true. Someone said, we think that we have to constantly move. We fail to allow God to teach us how to groove. Ooh, I like that. Who wrote that? Oh, that's so great. That's lovely. I love that. And yes, I could do a whole mental health moment about that, but yes, that's very true. Someone said they're a nonprofit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Someone said you can't pour from an empty cup. Absolutely not. We know that. And here's the thing, when you try to, what would happen, right? If you literally try to pour from an empty cup, nothing's going to come out, right? Which is why we have to keep rejuvenating ourselves, which is why we have to keep finding ways to energize ourselves, which is why we have to set the boundaries for ourselves so that we can show up as a better version of who we are, right? Very true. Someone said time management is my kryptonite. I need to get a grip for real. All good. It is a very, it's a very real thing, because the reality is life is busy. We have so much more responsibilities now. We have social media, and we have traditional media, and we have all this information being thrown at us. It's a lot to process. By the way, it's a lot for our brains to process on top of our personal responsibilities. So it can feel like a lot. And like I mentioned before, I'll be doing that one probably shortly in the next couple of weeks about time management. So there'll be a whole mental health moment about that, actually. But you're not alone. Someone says self-care and maintaining my boundaries. Beautiful. Someone said, yep, lack of sleep catches up with you. I've learned that getting older, and an RN healthcare provider of 26 years. Yes. It is so critically important. You all do the best you can to get as much sleep as you can. The amount that you need for your body, because everyone's a little different. But I mean, yes, sleep is very important. I can do a whole mental health moment about that. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. King. Dr. King's in the house. Welcome. Someone said amen. Yes. So again, recognize and remember what it is for you that is your non-negotiable. Again, as I mentioned, a couple of mine, one of them is sleep. Now to make sure I sleep. Another one for me is physical exercise. That was not as high up on the priority list as it probably should have been some years ago, but now very, very high on the list. Again, emotionally, mentally, like all the parts, like what can I do to grow as a person? Very high, very, very high on the list. Starting my gratitude practice and my devotional every single morning, non-negotiable. The self-care, non-negotiable. And these are just things for me. But again, you assess for you where you're at in your wellness journey. You may be at the beginning. You may be like, Dr. Hammond, I am just starting. All good. Or you may be like, you know what? I've been trying this a couple weeks or a couple months or a couple years, or wherever you're at, then keep going, right? Even on the days when it is hard and you want to give up on the mental health journey and you're like, man, or whatever goals you have, or whatever it is you're working on, we're going to have days where it's hard. We are. There's many, many times when there's plenty of goals in different areas of my growth that I've had. And I'm like, man, I don't want to do this goal anymore, right? Like it's normal to just feel like I'm trying to give up, but keep the faith, keep holding on, keep hope in your heart. Hope a lot of times can help you get through. Does it make the situation easier? No, not always, but it can help you sometimes to get through. Yep. Someone said it was easier not having as much sleep years back, but you're right. Yeah, it really is. Sleep is a real thing. Plus, yes, anyways, I'll just leave that for another mental moment. I was going to go more into sleep thing, but absolutely right what that person said. Sleep is very, very important for your mental health and physical health, right? Welcome from Texas, Galveston. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. So I will be back next Tuesday here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Remember, and thank you guys, by the way, for all that you put in the chat today. But remember to really keep that in mind. Keep your non-negotiables close. If you have to write a little contract to yourself or write some reminders like here's where you're at, do those sort of things. Very, very important to write things down. Can these non-negotiables change? Absolutely, right? You may change it a month from now or a year from now or 5 years from now or however long, right? Because hopefully you're in the mindset now of constantly asking yourself, what do you need? Which changes with time, right? But keep those things true to you. Be sure to keep working on yourself. Just know there's a lot of hope. I saw that today, honestly, when I was up in Tallahassee, just a lot of what we were doing as psychologists and working with the legislators and just trying our best to help the bigger picture of mental health. There really is a lot of hope. I know there's a lot of doom and gloom that we see with a lot of different things related to mental health, but there's also a lot of hope, and there's a lot of hope for you. So remember these things. And again, take care of yourselves. I will be back next Tuesday live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Have an amazing week. If you need me, you know where to reach me, drnekeshiahammond.com. Be blessed, and I'll see you next week, you all. Bye, guys.